everyone, here we are another day, another blaster video. Today I have Chris from War Machine or Blaster Factory, and we're going to talk about some blasters, but this is
Scott Juarez with Crucible Props.
Yes, I forgot about that. But this one is the Boba Fett blaster pistol from the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett TV show. And
man, Scott, that looks good. Hold that thing still up there. Wow.
This is what Chris makes. And Chris can tell us about the prop a little bit more. He has one of the original guns that this is based off of, which is a Navy Sedgley flare gun, right?
Correct.
Now, they didn't use an actual one for the prop. They just kind of got inspired by it, and then they made their own thing because there's a lot of it that's quite different.
Yeah, as near as I can tell, from my scaling, they may have found one of these things and scanned it, but the grips are different. I honestly can't tell. I mean, there's not enough pictures to tell, but they may have cut out, and of course, I kind of took, artistic liberty with the wood grips and made them, kind of a little thicker. I'm not sure how they really are on the real prop because you just can't see it.
Right.
But they may even been a little, little vinyl that looked like, wood. But I figured, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make wood grips and make it pretty cool looking. So,
yeah, I think it's a cool looking prop.
It feels good in your hand, don't it?
It does. It's one of the more comfortable ones. Like this one's comfortable. The Leia's comfortable.
Yeah.
Java blaster I'm working on is really comfortable.
Oh, that's neat. I got one of those air pistols somewhere back up here. I need to get you to turn that into one of those.
Yeah, send it over. I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Like the Mausers aren't super comfortable. They're not very comfortable in the hand. They're kind of, but the ergonomics are kind of awkward. And
that's weird too, because at the time that pistol, the Mauser, Luger, Bergman, all those guys were making these semi-automatic pistols. That's the worst one. Well, no, the Bergman ain't all that great, but they made that pinch point kind of where you're right here, when you're holding
it's too high.
Yeah.
It's fine for you to hold it like this, but then otherwise your finger doesn't really rest in it because then your trigger finger would be way too high.
Maybe their hands were smaller.
I don't know, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Like, I think revolvers are worse. Some of the revolvers, they're very lean forward kind of.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Some of the vintage ones. Yeah.
But yeah,
I like the Lugers, like with the Gen Urso. That's probably, that gun was designed to have the angle of the frame to like you're pointing your finger. So
yeah, which I have one of yours as well, and this is ultimately super comfortable.
Yeah, see how you've got your finger there. He designed that frame to where it was just like you're pointing your finger. That's where the bullet's going. So it was super. I think they're very ergonomic.
A lot of people have forgotten about this, but this showed up in Mandalorian too.
Yep.
And Chris makes this, so you guys really should check it out. I mean, it's a great kit.
That's one of my favorite all time because I'm a Luger fan. That's one of my favorite props I've ever done, and it's also one of the hardest to get right now. With the way the world is, everything's falling apart and important. But getting that Navy longer 6-inch barrel Luger has been kind of an issue. So
I remember early on you and I talked a bunch about. I remember you and I early on talked a bunch about Lugers, and I don't own a real one, but I really want to get an artillery one because I like the way they look. It's cool with the sight on the front and everything.
Yeah, I've got in my collection, I think I have a Navy and I've got one artillery Luger. They're very expensive. They're hard to find, especially like the ones I would get. I tried to get all matching serial numbers and have the original mags with them, and that turned out to be a good collector's item.
If they have a stock too that's matching, it's super hard to find.
You can forget that. I've only known one person to have the original snail shell magazine for it and the holster. Yeah, I've only known one person to have that, and I think he's wanted 30 grand or something for it.
Yeah, that's a pipe dream. I'd rather buy an old vintage guitar.
Well, you know what? I started collecting old Mausers and Lugers. I think I've said in other videos because back when I was a kid, you're playing GI Joe. The GI Joes were this tall, and they had these little weird guns. You didn't know what they were, but that little Luger that he had, I thought was cool. Little German officer guy, and I would see him literally at yard sales and gun shows. I'm 53 now. It was my birthday last week, so I'm old. But back then, there were, you could still see some of the that vintage stuff popping up just anywhere. It was common. I used to buy a Luger for $400, and you can't do that now.
Well, yeah, all kinds of stuff. Guitars, back then it was just old guitars. Now they're worth tens of thousands or more.
Oh, I wish I had every 60s Strat and Les Paul I've owned in my life.
Yeah.
The guitars themselves, oh God, everybody's going to hate me, Scott, but I freaking hated those vintage guitars. They sucked. All the hardware was crap. The kind of music I was playing, they were just not that great of guitars. Now, boom.
Well, they got treated like an old guitar. They just got used. And so a lot of them ended up really used, and everything was messed up on them. So the good ones, the ones that are in good shape, stuff
used to have nicer hardware, I think. But the old Fender stuff, I've never been a Fender fan. So
yeah, but I mean, the old guns are like that too. The nice ones, they're expensive, and the ones that got used a lot, they're pretty trashy. Yeah,
well, they're not around either.
Yeah,
Lugers and Mausers and all this fun stuff that the props turned into, they're hard to come by still. Expensive.
It's I don't know if this is on topic, but people looking for real ones to turn into props, just forget about it. It's not worth it. They're in terrible shape if they're affordable. They're unsafe if you really want to make it fire, if they're affordable, because they have mismatched parts and things like that. You really need to get a good one if you're going to convert it. I just recommend buying Chris's replicas because they're outwardly exactly what they're supposed to be, and
humanly possible anyway.
Yeah.
I get this a lot. People find these, before Henry Barsh helped me locate several of these right when they first come out. But I've had a lot of people ask me if you can buy the kit and retro this. The answer is no. There's no bloody way. You'd have to do a lot of machining and
let's show them the differences right there. Right. Let's just talk about this breech piece right here. Mm-hmm. It's completely different.
Yeah.
It looks
number one, the real one is going to break down and it's got a pivot point, which obviously you can't do that with all the prop stuff on
right. But then you have this giant hunk of metal up here. Yeah. How are you going to do that? If people are talking about welding something on there, or glue it, yeah, sure, but it's not going to have that clean seam.
No, and you'd also, this barrel and everything's totally different shape. I don't know if you see it, but it's tapered.
Yeah, this looks like an MP40 kind of like lug right up here. Weird. I think they just kind of took inspiration from different things and just
and the front sight pieces too, or the clamps, the front sight clamp, front barrel clamps, they were thinking maybe they grabbed it from one of those airsoft guns, but I own those airsoft guns and they're not the same size, so they're inspired definitely, but they're not from it. So.
Right, like the Bergman, like the Mando pistol. It's close-ish, but they just kind of like, oh, that looks cool, let's do something that looks like that.
What'd you do for the little LED on the top sight?
I didn't, you know what? That's still in a bag right here. I didn't put the LED on there.
Because I've kind of noticed in pictures, I can't tell whether it's sticking straight in or sticking up like this.
It's the couple pictures I saw, it looks like it's just kind of laying there. And it's wonky and it serves no purpose. It doesn't light up in the show at all.
Yeah.
So I didn't bother doing that.
I included it and even with the black anodized ones that I have that are all put together, I think I just glued it, I think I put it in the bag. I think I left it up to the person to glue it in there anyway he wanted to.
Well, I painted this to look like, is that plastic?
Yes, it's Bakelite.
It's Bakelite. So I painted it.
It's got a shine.
I painted it semi-gloss to make it look sort of like that.
Yep.
and it's weathered a bit. It's kind of hard to come off on camera, but you can see it's maybe you can see.
That's the first thing I noticed, that looked good. If this wasn't so beat up back here, it'd be shiny like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's got a bit of weathering on it, but it's hard for it to come across. You can kind of see it's dull here and stuff like that. But
maybe one day when we get rich and famous, we can get like a real camera set up, you know, and high dollar stuff, and we can see stuff. I'm trying to get John over, my brother-in-law that does my graphics and videos and stuff, to get me a setup with a high def camera where it could set stuff underneath it and it'd show in all this stuff too.
Yeah. What is the purpose of that screw back there?
Okay, on the real one, that's a bolt. It goes all the way through. And if you notice, when you get the kit, the trigger here has a hole through it.
Yeah.
Well, the firing mechanism is actually attached to that.
Oh, okay.
I might be able to pull that apart.
The spring is back there or something?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the one I've had apart 1,000 times. So I'll turn the camera on to see it.
Wow, look at the head.
Okay.
Okay.
See that?
Oh, wow.
Okay. See, this is all
just the housing, yeah.
And you see how when you put that together, how the inspiration for doing that came about.
Yeah.
But then you've got, here's the mechanism here, and there's a lock. Can you see that?
Yeah.
How that lock is. That's what catches. So when you pull the trigger,
and there's a firing pin.
Yeah.
I've had that happen. I've had that happen so many times. At least that's a big spring.
You know what? I usually chuck that up to the darkness theory that I have, where it's just gone forever. But that actually slung out across the room, rolled out into the middle of the floor where it was light and I could see it. So
yeah, I have dark wood floors and kind of a darkish carpet underneath my chair. And if any little bolt or screw falls, it's just I got to get down on the floor with the flashlight, skimming the ground to try and see it and stuff like that. It sucks. When
I'm assembling stuff, if I drop it on the floor, usually I just forget about it. It's just gone.
I can't, because usually it's somebody's rare scope or some stupid thing that's you can't find another one. So I end up searching for a long time. That's why I have magnets too. I'll just run a magnet around and see if it catches something.
We'll go back together. But yeah, this was a real simple flare gun design. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. But yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I always think the double barrel look is kind of cool. It seems kind of pointless. I don't know what the purpose of it would be, but it looks neat.
It does. It's a unique prop. When I saw it, I loved it the first time I saw it. Yeah. I'm actually pretty low on those. I don't think I've got but about 5 or 6 of those things left in stock. I had that huge sale in May, and those things disappeared.
Well, that's good. Well, excuse me. But I know that there were this kind of is like one of those contention points with some people.
Mm-hmm.
There's like not really any really good evidence of what's going on here. It's either a notch or most of the time it looks like a notch, but I've seen a couple pictures where it looks like there's something there.
Well, there's some pictures from some show where it's sticking out. I don't think it's metal. People are putting a metal tab there. I don't think it's metal. That has to be light and promo shots or something, but it just looks like a notch in the wood. I see the 3D print guys that are doing that stuff are painting them and put some kind of brass thing there. I just don't see it.
And there's they made multiples of them anyway.
So there's probably 50 of them.
Rubber ones, cast ones. There's probably a hero one or a couple hero ones. I want to say someone sent me a picture from Celebration that had. You didn't go, right? You didn't go.
No.
Let me see if I'll pull it up if I could find it real quick.
I don't think I might have those too.
No,
it was pictures up on the.
It was.
I tell you what, this last celebration, man, you know what? I got a lot of friends now I didn't know I had, and this is awesome. I have so many pictures from the blasters and Cad Bane and the Mando and all kinds of blasters, especially the what do they call it? Is it the E4 now, or is it just the new version of the EE3 Webley that he's using?
I don't know what it's called.
But that thing's intricate, and next year I'm definitely going to do that one. There's some cool things on the barrel. I mean, I really want to do that. I actually cut the stock, and it's somewhere around here too, to start putting the greeblies in it. It
wasn't this pistol. It was the Mando Bergman one. It was one of the cast ones.
It is, and you know what? People have asked me about it. It's got a really kind of a different kind of flash hider, and I may turn one of those for the kit too as an option. But God, I don't know how many Mando blasters there are. There's 6 or 8 of them that I kind of bounce between too. It's hard to make metal props from 3D printed stuff that changes every other shot, you know.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway. But yeah, this is a cool one. This is one of my I never really thought about it much. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then once you get it in hand, it's a lot of these things are a tangible attachment. Like for instance, the Return of the Jedi ones. I always thought it was an ugly duckling. I just thought it was so goofy looking. And then when I picked it up and I was like, whoa, this is way better. Feels better. The balance is better. It just
I think my favorite DL44 now is the stem bridge.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Which I have back there. Yeah. And then when you start to look at the movie, how much they get used, those Return of the Jedi ones are easily one of my favorites now.
Yeah.
It's funny. And then this is cool.
Yeah, he basically picked that up out of the Razor Crest when he grabbed his armor, didn't he? That was in Mando's locker, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I don't either, but I think that's true.
I don't remember at all. I don't recall. I really don't remember. Not at all.
We go back and watch it. That's cool. What are the greeblies on the side of that? It looks like 2.
Okay, so this one's not done yet. This one's done.
There you go.
These things. Okay, so these are bomb halves from an F4 Phantom E model kit. There's the motor coil.
Yep.
Motor coil thing from the V8 kit. These are like rubber bumpers or something like that. It's just like a half sphere. And then these, nobody knows what these metal plates are, but they're the same on either side. And they have a little steel pivot pin. It's hard to see.
So basically it looks like they're just scrap metal they put on the side.
But they come from something. They come from something because they're shaped like that. And they're identical.
Huh.
But the prop people shave them there and there for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe for holstering or something. I'm not quite sure. But otherwise the shapes are the same. And then nobody knows what this thing is. This scope deal. It looks like an old soldering iron, sort of. This is a knob, a radio knob, an Emerson radio knob that they glued on the back. But there's another prop that has this same scope thing, but it's like twice as long.
Huh.
So this one is cut down. All the ones for these pistols were cut down from something longer, unless there were 2 versions, a short version and a long version. But still nobody knows what that is. And nobody knows what this thing is either. This little, I don't know, looks like a nozzle.
Is that not on the gun when you get it?
No, it looks like a marker cap. Do I have one of these markers laying around? I used to.
I don't know if I can find this thing.
People thought it was a marker cap, but yeah, so this is flipped. The sight is flipped.
Okay.
Underneath.
Yeah. There's
that's how it's supposed to be.
Gotcha. So there's some kind of cap stuck in the front of it.
Yeah, it's like don't know what it is. It looks like a marker cap, like an old like art marker cap.
It almost looks like some type of wire nut.
That's not. It's a big one though, man.
Yeah,
it could be. It very well could be, but I haven't found one that looks exactly the same.
Man, this is this package here. I bought this from I guess one of my followers is Anthony Steiner.
Uh-huh.
And man, I hadn't talked to him in a while. This thing was sent in this is from France. It actually disappeared for over a year.
Oh wow.
Transit. I just wrote it off and forgot about it. And all of a sudden one day, look at the box.
It came like that.
It showed up. So it was like, hey, yay. But maybe one day I'll get, I think we've talked about this. The hardest part of everything on this looks easy to do, except for like everything, the damn grips, the injection molding and doing that. I'll have to find a way of dealing with that.
But man, this is a cool one though.
Are these hard to get?
Yes.
Really? Because
it was usually only in Europe.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if they came here. I don't pretend to know all the history of them. But an interesting thing, if you look at yours, you got that rear sight.
Yeah.
You need this for the Return of the Jedi E11.
Yeah.
It's one of the Greeblies on there.
And that's the reason why I bought this, actually, was to get that sight.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
And there's variations. Like this one has the threaded nipple on the back because there was a stock you could thread on.
Mm-hmm.
And they come in short barrel like this or long, where it's like twice as long.
Nice.
So there's variants. And then this one had brown plastic like yours. This one had black plastic grips. This one has flathead screws. This one has Phillips head screws. And then there's another variation in the way the front sight. I don't know if you can see that. The construction of the front sight. Like this one has these rails here, and this one's just smooth. So there are variations. And they made a few of these for the movie. There's at least 4 or 5, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. It's cool in the hand for sure.
Yeah, that is. It's a pretty ergonomic grip.
I always thought it was neat because the Luke Skywalker toy when I was a kid had this, and that was the Luke blaster from Return of the Jedi. That's how you associated it. Even though he doesn't really use it, he just steals it real quick and then loses it immediately. But yeah, so
that's fun stuff. Yeah, I forgot all about that one. Oh man,
that'd be a cool one to do. But yeah, I think you're right. The molds, unless it's cast, the molds for the grips would be insanely expensive.
Yeah, well, it's like on the Leia, you 20, 30 grand later if you're lucky, and those are pretty big grips on that. And the knurling, there's a lot of detail. I don't know if you can see them because yours is painted, but
yeah, the knurling.
There's a lot of contours. Oh, you can really tell here. You see all that, and see when you start doing all this cross hatching.
Yeah,
somebody has to get in there and do that by hand in a mold.
Oh my God.
Yeah, fun stuff. But there, I had another quick visitor there. Doesn't do any good to block my door.
Wonder what. Yeah, it's tough because that's all that. The whole bottom.
You think that's a popular enough blaster to pay attention to it like that?
I don't know. You guys please comment and tell us if you think it's like something people would want. I don't know.
That would be out there. I know I've got a lot of people want me to do stuff, but I'm so right now, Blaster Factory and War Machine both. You can see I'm involved in building about 5 different paintball guns right now. Plus I'm neck deep in Leia. and starting to see the end of the Bowcaster. Actually, that one's actually developing faster, so it's not as hard as the Leia. That Margolin pistol, you know, if you haven't seen the video we did before on the Margolin pistol, that is a marvel. That is absolutely. I have that blind guy that invented that's a genius. I mean, it's tough to reproduce. It's going very slowly, a lot slower than I thought it would. The lowers are done, and I've got some barrel pieces done.
Do you have a lower there? Oh, wow.
Look at that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's a lot of operations, man.
Well, you know, believe it or not, it's 2 operations. I'm not machining this. Actually, a friend of mine is doing it on a 5-axis. And if you've seen the videos, it's being held like this and being turned, you know, all ways to do this. There's some really crazy long holes. Can you see that?
Yeah.
A long hole through there. That is a part of the trigger system, which is, I hope one day everybody gets to see this, because, you know, I'm doing a lot of the internals pretty close to what the real firearm is. Now, it will in no way ever be able to be shot or load or do any of that stuff. It just won't. But I wanted the trigger mechanism to work. And I've got videos that you can go back and see on my Facebook and on my page too. But you see this guy here? How's that?
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the hammer. That hammer piece, there's a spring goes over this. That stuff drops in here, which is that long hole you see, and goes all the way, goes in there like this. So it's set inside the, it'd be like that.
Wow.
Okay. Yes, Scott, you've got those Mars. You've never had one apart, have you?
No, I mean, I field stripped it for cleaning and stuff.
Yeah, this is way past that.
Taking that up. No, thanks.
But yeah, there's the edge for the sear. That stuff goes right in here and would have the cross pin. And that's the tensioner for the hammer. So it returns. That was tough. And I still don't know how I'm making this part right here. You see, it's round, but then it's flat, and then it goes in a slot in the back of the hammer here. You see that?
Wow.
I'm trying to copy all that. I haven't made these 2 pieces yet, but we'll see it probably. I don't know. This thing's, we were trying to be done in July, but I think this thing's more likely into August, maybe even September before this is done. Because, you know, we've got a contest kind of going on that too. So
yeah, people, please. And I just showed that the gun's empty, so nobody thinks I'm waving around a loaded firearm. Yeah, please check out the other video, as there is a contest to win one of these. And it's pretty simple. You just have to like, subscribe, all the things we tell you about in the video, and then answer a question that's in the video. It's
just a way for us to trick you into following us. Okay. Just pay attention. You know?
Somebody's going to win a really cool prop.
Maybe. If I ever finish it. It's tough. Believe me, I am working on it very, very diligently, but it is tough. And I'm getting ready to do another batch of steel Mausers, and that was tough enough, and that'll be slow, but man, that is a cakewalk compared to this pistol.
Wow.
Here's the next items.
Ooh,
never mind, that's gone.
It went into the black hole.
Yep. I need somebody to just come in here and hold on to my stuff for me. Okay.
You need a pet that lives under the desk. That
here, bring my shit back.
Push stuff back to you.
Yeah, blonde about this tall. Yeah, I said that. Okay. I think I moved my camera doing that.
A little bit. That's all right.
This part is going to, there again, this is not a real barrel. This is just this is a blaster. It has a pin that'll go through the side. This will press fit in. And I'm doing this stuff for orientation, because clocking threads and doing all that's a really big pain in the ass. I don't want builders to have to fight that. And then next is the piece that you like, Scott, the little add-on piece. This should screw right on the other stuff. And this section right here will have the sight.
Oh, yeah.
And I do not have that out here. I thought I did. Yeah, there you go. Yep. And there's two sizes of that sight. There's a short one and a long one. That's the short one, right?
Yeah. Yep, the long one's on the Return of the Jedi.
There you go. I'm going to do both. Maybe not right instantly, but I will get both. Then the space in front here is for the coil of wire and the Reed model cylinder. And then you got compensator. I know why I keep dropping these things. These are all reverse threads.
Yeah.
That thing backwards. They're all lefty stuff.
And that's good because that's what the originals are.
Yeah. No, the tap and die or whatever, when you told me a year whenever we started this, I got the original tap and die for this. So,
yeah.
You know.
That's crazy.
I know. So it is making some progress. The uppers are actually being programmed and are being proved out on the mill right now. So that's the next challenging part. The upper slide that you got on there, and show that up close, and also the back, what I call the bridge, the sight bridge.
Yeah,
those are the two. That's the only two hard parts left on this. If I can get past the upper and that piece, the rest of it's just be conventional.
Yeah, these I'll show people what it's going to look like. There's this piece too. This is critical.
I'm going to make something like that a little simpler than that, but yeah.
And then I don't know how you're going to do this part, the little catch, but this just is this.
Yep.
It looks simple, but man, it ain't.
No, and those two forks sticking out in the front right there. It's hard to machine.
So A New Hope
flop around.
The New Hope did have the forks. Mine just doesn't. And the Return of the Jedi one was slim or flat like that.
Well, yeah, you're talking about the flange in the back. One has it. I was talking about just the two, the front part.
Oh, these forks
out like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because machining them is tough because they just hang out there. You know, they vibrate when you try to cut them.
Yeah, and then being aluminum too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a tuning fork.
You know, by the way, I found some of those extras, and I found that some of those Margolin parts are aluminum. Not all of it's steel.
Which part?
I've got a couple slides that are aluminum.
These?
Yeah.
Oh, mine's definitely steel.
Yep.
In fact, I guess we can find out. Steel.
Yeah, the receiver and everything. That'd have to be steel.
Everything.
That thing would blow up if it didn't.
Yeah, mine's all steel. But yeah, it's interesting. Oh, and there's two versions of this thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, New Hope has these flat edges, and the Return of the Jedi has the flared ones.
Yeah, they flare out so you can grip them better.
Yeah, because you can, with the flare ones, you can cycle the whole slide with your fingers like that. Maybe that's what they did it for. Not sure.
Those little parts would be pretty intricate to do too.
Yeah, like the knurl on this. There's
I've actually already found the right knurling tool for that. So, but you know, the hard part of that little catch there is got that V groove in it. I may be simplifying that because we don't.
Is it going to need to be movable, or is it just going to be something that's?
I don't think so. I don't know how I'm going to handle that yet. I'll have to wait till I get to that.
Oh, from the bottom you see it.
You may cheat a little bit on that. I don't want, sometimes you can copy things. I don't want people putting them on real guns as replacement parts too.
No, because it would fail.
Yep.
It could be a simple knurled thing that just screws in and looks
the part. Yeah.
Because it doesn't need to serve a function on your version.
No, and a lot of the sites too have a lot of intricate catches and things. I'm going to scale that back a little bit too, because it's not necessary.
Yeah, these are all notched, and they have notched points.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. There'll be plenty of details and things to build on it. This is going to be one of the. This won't be a beginner build for most people.
And there won't be a magazine either.
No, the mag. I'm only going to make it about 1 inch tall, and it's just enough to align it to slide so that the bottom plate shows, and there's a catch on the bottom of the grip there to get it. And I'll leave that entire space in there completely freed up for anybody that wants to try to jam, electronics up in it. It's how fun is it, Scott?
No, it's not fun. There would be tight. There might be room. Man, I don't know.
Time you put a board, a speaker, try to get a battery. I don't know if you
battery too, and switches and all that stuff. No, not my cup of tea. No thanks.
Not fun. Well, that one's underway, guys. Oh, you know what? Are we ready to move on? We got anything?
Yeah. I want to see the Bowcaster stuff.
Yes. Anybody know what that is?
The mount for scopes.
It is, and on the Bowcaster, and they're all wrong. I don't see anybody doing it right. There's probably the only person on the planet that I know that's got one of these Hortons, one of the Horton Elites, the metal ones, is there's 3 people on the planet that I know have got one. One of the guys, James, he can't even find his, which is horrible because these things would be really expensive. But Marcus over in Germany, hey Marcus, he actually sent me some really detailed drawings and measurements, and this wasn't possible to get it to scan, but wasn't necessary. I mean, we got this thing pretty much as close to the original as we can. Also, if Mr. Horton's watching, which he's been following, actually,
that's cool.
That is super cool. And I wish he still had the old tooling for all this stuff from back then, but this has been reproduced, and it goes right here. Everybody see that? This part you can't see real well on the prop because it's got the with that the piece that comes down. There's a kind of a fork thing, a big old hunk of metal drops down, and then the barrel goes out, to that pivot point here. But this gets covered up. And then all of a sudden you've got your single point scope, and then you've got those 2 420 scopes on each side. Nobody ever sees this or knows what it is, or they're using some makeshift Horton or crossbow that they're modifying that has a different mount system. But this was an important part, and it's super cool how it's made. I hope everybody can see that pretty good.
Might have some pictures. Let me look real quick and see if I can find something.
Yeah. And I was mocking this up a little while ago to show how they attach stuff. You've got the scope ring for the single point. See how it clamps onto one of the little flared out flanges there. And then on the 420 scope, you got that other scope mount, for theirs that clamps onto the edges of this mount. Scott, can you see that? Is that?
I'm on the other screen. Hold up. I'm gonna show you.
I'll pull it back up in a minute. And you can see I've got the machining done,
Okay, let me come back to you.
Out the rest of the stuff here.
That looks great.
Yeah, this turned out well.
And what is the control box thing? What is that?
Right here?
No. The
right
insert,
here? Yeah. Okay. This right here, I'm mocking this up right now. We haven't made these yet, but I'm figuring it out just looking at the pictures and how it kind of insets, because this is not the same. This is one edge, and then it gets thicker right here, but it looks like in the picture these are flat. They're parallel to each other on each side. Okay. So we're working on that shape, and what I did, I've got to make something in here, a spacer. So I was using clay to mock it up right now before we draw something, and then from there, it'll have to be screwed down, and you've got a bunch of knobs, which I've I have finally located. There's only one thing I don't know, and I don't think anybody knows, but I've got all the knobs located and the real one's done. So
that's cool.
Yes, that was giving me fits. And you know, I'm gonna show you some. I hope Chris don't get mad at Chris Travis at Props of Star Wars. You need to go look at his site, man. Everything that gets discovered kind of pops up there. Do you go there, Scott?
I used to go there a lot. I haven't gone to their website in quite a while. I don't know if they've updated it or not. I haven't.
And there's tons of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Henry. Oh, wait a minute.
But their Facebook page, they update a lot.
Yeah, there's somebody actually I saw a week or two ago. Somebody, the little vents on the Stormtrooper helmet, that little mic.
Oh yeah. Those are just
somebody found those. They're found part now. You know.
Yeah,
so,
I think that people know what it is, but I don't think finding it is ever going to be something that's a real.
Well, they did. Somebody actually found a real set of them. They're aerators off of an old sink type thing from back then. Somebody actually found the package of them.
Yeah.
So the ones that were used.
Hold off, everybody. I don't think that's going to be something you're going to find easily.
No, it took this long, and that literally from that long ago, the plastic's probably crumbling from them. But it is, and so whoever found it's in a package too, which is really amazing. You know, but that's why we do the videos. You never know what somebody will discover somewhere.
Let me show you this real quick. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Can you see this?
Yep.
So this is the back of the Chewie blaster. Yeah,
see how those scopes clamp onto the side of those other scope rings on the single point.
Yeah.
And see there again, it's like I was telling you, you can't see this piece. You know, you can't see the scope mount under all the stuff they put over top of it.
Right. And then here's a side view.
Yep. Yeah, great picture. I've got some blown up pictures here where I think Travis posted these to show people what the knobs are, or me what the knobs are, and off the camera and stuff too.
Yeah, there's another picture from the other side, but couldn't find it.
There's not. The other side, there's almost nothing on.
Oh, there's not? Okay.
Not a lot. I think there is one, but it's not clear. You can't really see it that well.
So are these holes above the trigger, are those already part of the
Yes.
Okay.
That's part of the bow. I think those were two blocks right here that were put in there for the lever, because that's a pivot hole for the actual trigger. And I think those were put in there, for the pivot to stop the pivot point or something, because that was the release for the, for the string on the crossbow.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I'm gonna mount it and do it the same way. And of course, one of them they use to stick a wire in, an RCA plug.
You can see from the front view that it's all crooked and wonky,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll probably straighten all that stuff out, obviously, but
that's just the nature of cobbled together stuff.
Yep.
What are you?
And I love the bouncy balls on the end of it too.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Balls.
What are you going to do about those?
Oh, that's real easy.
Please stop sharing.
Well, I thought it'd be real easy. I actually have a pinky ball still in business. So I got a bunch of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I'm going to just shove those on there and you paint them black. I thought they were right outside the door here on the shelf, but you'll have to dig for them. But I've got quite a few of those, and you still can buy them. You can buy them off Amazon or Walmart or anything. They're still in business.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have all the knobs already?
Yep. I'm not as good as flashing all this other stuff up, but I'll show you this. Travis sent me this, and you've got a witch hat, which is a fender knob. You're familiar with the pulleys, that they use, the Imperial, pulleys on the turntable, Imperial logo thing.
Is that what Zork's knob?
The Zorky, yeah, Zorky. and that it's a camera, And both sides, they don't mirror each other, but they've got some of the same stuff. This is another knob. It's kind of, I think it's a rolling knob or some kind of keyboard knob. And then you've got these beveled pulley things that are out of that turntable that seems to pop up on everything. Another pulley here. This RCA plug, this vintage one, I actually have some. I'm gonna make a replica of it because you can't find that many of them. But how it mounts in there is really not clear. You can't see it real good. But we think the actual tip of the RCA goes in something because you can still see the metal around the outside. So it doesn't totally go into a socket there. Huh. So I'll figure some way out of doing that until something happens. The other thing, there's a small knob here, which is off a radio or something. I'm not sure. Chris didn't tell me what that was, but he actually sent me one of those. He found one. So I've got one of those to copy.
I'm always amazed at how they can find stuff.
You know what?
Because I have spent my time searching for stuff too, and it's just like I've never found a single thing. I've found things that kind of similar, but
I think Chris and them, I think they go for a lot. They see a big old batch of electronics and they just buy it all. And hey, there's a knob I can use. They just get lucky. But he actually helped me find the Russian camera, the Zorky. That. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Now, the two things you need on it, you got this knob, okay, with the knurl. And I think there's some debate about the knurl. I think it's knurled. I don't know. And then you've got this knob here, which you don't actually use the top. It's actually using the dial, the base of it. And that took me a minute to wrap my head around. And he broke that down. Let's see, where'd it go? Okay, this is a Kodak knob with the Zorky base, okay? And there again, Marcus, I'm stealing one of your pictures again that you sent me. He helped me early on get that other site going.
I mean, it makes sense how they made other props, right?
Yeah. Well, see, Marcus did it. It's actually got, and here's the Kodak. Here's the other rare Kodak camera you got to find with the knobs to do this. And you need that one right there, okay? Now, on the real prop, the Zorky top doesn't have the wind and the arrow like you need. So they use the top of that, and the base of it, if you can see, is the base from the Zorky. And I think they must have switched those or combined those because the Zorky doesn't have a hole in the center. Yeah. They could screw it down.
That's annoying.
Yeah, and then, but this Kodak here does. So
yeah,
combine.
Well, it makes perfect sense because they did that kind of stuff with the macro binoculars too. They combined crap.
Yeah. Yeah. How dare them make stuff we can't find?
Jeez.
But yeah, I've got another knob here. See that?
That just puts the nail in the coffin for me on ever trying to find real parts and trying to replicate that thing.
Yeah. And then I've got the Imperial. I already make these. Those things go in
I have one right here.
Yeah, they go in all over stuff, and then you got the fender knob, which I have a ton of real ones, thank God. But there's the witch, they call it the witch hat.
Yeah. They just took the reflector off.
Well, maybe. I think they probably just
screwed through it.
Drove a screw through it. And all this crap gets painted black.
Yeah.
It's all gonna be black. And then on the other side, there's the other knob, small knob they call it. Got one of those. Should be able to make a little aluminum replica of that pretty easy. And I'll pre-drill some holes in them too, where they, the screws will automatically go in. And then that guy here, the bigger knob, goes on this side right here. And then their turntable knobs here. Marcus's looks a little different, but the real one, Chris actually sent me one of those. So I have one to copy, a real one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, it took a while to decipher all that, to figure out what all these little things are. And you got mounting screws, all this stuff has to be positioned. And then right here is that place where that RCA plug supposed to go in. Now on Marcus's, I don't think that's correct there. I don't think that looks like that scope piece. You know.
Oh yeah, it does.
But I don't think that's there. I
you mean
in the archive photos?
This?
Yeah. But there's something there they've got where they can, you know, put the RCA plug in. I just have to improv or make something up, you know, because there ain't that many pictures of the Bowcaster, you know.
Oh, and the pictures of the character with it are not very telling anyway, you know.
Well, yeah, I've got all those too, and they're just blurry when they never, you know. How dare them when they make these movies not focus on the blasters and give us nice, clear, scaled shots of them?
Well, you can see that they did photograph all the props, but those pictures are nowhere to be found. I mean, they're very rare, very hard to find, and that or they're tiny, or you know.
Well, you know,
they're under NDA, so nobody can see them.
Yeah. Well, you know, James and Garrett and Chris, there's a lot of people that I know went to Celebration, and they started feeding me these pictures from all the props and the cases and stuff. And they'll, here, man, do this. I kept texting back, 360, man, front, center, back, bottom, back, top, you know, front. I mean, every possible conceivable angle, because you know what? When you start trying to scale something or make it, you know, when you don't have it, it's just it's amazing what you can't see, you know.
No kidding. For instance, this blaster here, the Hoth, right?
Yeah.
So for a long time, me and other people thought that these two screws went all the way to here.
Yeah.
And when it finally, I got some pictures, and there was another picture that showed it from the front, that doesn't line up. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense spatially and on the two axes. It didn't make sense. So you just can't. It's very hard to tell, even with really close up good pictures, unless you have all the angles. It's very difficult to get an idea of what's happening.
I remember very early on, I was trying to, when everybody was talking about that, I was trying to make that work out. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's difficult from pictures to make it correct. Scaling and all that stuff. It's very hard.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like on all those scope mounts years ago when I was tackling those, you know, when you're looking at a picture from a camera view, you know, you get this wraparound effect.
Yeah, there's lens distortion depending on which lens, what focal length, you know, how much distortion was in the lens, you know.
Yeah, and you're a camera guy, you're a photographer, so you get that, and you've got to kind of reverse that. I always try to find, you know, especially John here, when we were doing a lot of that stuff, I try to find another item in that same area. I mean, I noticed one time, I can't remember which gun, it's one of the MGC blasters, DL44s. Everybody was scaling something, you know, like the scope mounts off the gun this far,
right?
The MGC's back here, and they're trying to scale the mount from, you know, some stuff on the gun.
Yeah, well, but it's sitting half inch or more away.
And it blew me away at how much of a difference that made, because, you know, the one thing I did
these distances,
and then I think it may have been the Hoth too.
People using the M19 as a reference of scale, but even that is jutting out. You know, you can measure the port, and you have a good idea, but that's, you know, 1.5 inches or 1.75 inches. And
it literally could throw it off as much as 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
And what I found, this all kind of coming back to me now, what we ended up doing was the 2 points that we knew were absolute was the mounting holes for the M19. Okay. So those ears that stuck up to mount it to, I knew how far apart those holes were. From that, I had a starting point. And from that, started scaling, going around the entire thing in 3D. And when I did that, I went around line to line to line to line to line to line, and then I got up here to connect back, and it was almost perfect. And then from that point, you realize, okay, I've scaled it correct, because I kept messing around. Everybody was making the Hoth bracket so big, you know, because when they were looking down at it, I think this is the one I'm thinking about, but
it's closer to the camera.
Yeah, and it was covering up the whole front of the magazine well for the Mauser. So everybody was making the thing this wide, but it wouldn't work out with the M19. Everybody's having to cheat things to make it actually finish and work out. I was like, that's not right. I mean, if you had two eyes looking at it, all of a sudden, you think it's this wide. It's not. It's this wide. You could see each side, but that wraparound effect made that thing look a lot bigger than it was. But the math don't lie. If you have one point, it's close to the plane that you're scaling from, and you go from there. And when you start going all the way around whatever you're doing, and you end up back virtually at the same point you started, I always feel good about it then. But yeah, that was a hard lesson. That was in the early times of trying to copy this stuff off paper, and I used to worry you to death on that stuff because just trying to figure out all the different views and things on those.
So many.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we all just had the pictures and everybody could share them freely without somebody's feathers getting ruffled and stuff like that.
Yeah, or the guys that actually own the props are, they're hoarding them in their house and don't show anybody. There's a lot of that going on.
Oh, that's a whole nother discussion. But
yeah, make a few enemies that way.
I get it, but it's a conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I would show them. I had them. That's one reason why I got into this. I try to get rid of a lot of the magic that hoodoo things everybody tries to do. But yeah, if you find one of these anywhere, good luck. And I almost didn't get the Zorky. This is a non-functional. Chris found it, and it was amazing. It was fortuitous because when I got into this and started trying to dig through the archive footage, and Chris was helping me, he goes, "Oh man, hey, there's one on eBay." I went, "Oh crap!" I bought it instantly. Wow. And it took. There again, it vanished, disappeared, gone. I'm like, well, that's great, And about 6 months later, it showed up. So. It's coming from the Russian Federation. So, pretty much getting anything out of Russia.
You got quite lucky because forget about it now.
Yeah, you can forget that. But yeah, I was lucky to get that.
Man, yeah. That's a prop I would never even consider getting a real parts thing of.
Yeah,
there's just some, you got to draw a line someplace, man. There's just some.
It's lucky. I've actually there's so many people following me now, they'll actually find or let me know about stuff. And, I try to get this thing preemptively, especially like these flare guns, like for the Marshall's blaster and a couple other things I'm going to do in the future. And you know what? Henry actually found me I actually won the auction for a Webley and Scott Mark I air pistol. Okay. You don't know what that's for, do you?
No.
Nobody really does yet. And I don't know if it'll be popular, but I think it's a really cool air pistol. And I don't have it yet.
A Webley air pistol.
Yep. And but our beloved Obi-Wan. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody I love the series Obi-Wan. I know everybody's expecting, and they're mad about Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. They're not coming out with all guns blazing, and they're just kicking everybody's ass. These guys are older in life, and they're kind of going through their story. But I love it, And that pistol that he has, that's what it's based off of.
Oh, okay. But
I don't have a picture ready for it to go.
I'm sure it's like the others. It's inspired by, right?
I don't know, Scott. It may be the pistol.
One. Huh.
It doggone looks like it. I don't know how to share stuff real well.
In the bottom center, there should be a green share screen, but you have to have the window pulled up.
Yeah, I don't think I got that ready. But in any event, you can go at Celebration and then a couple other things. That pistol, there's some great pictures come out. And I actually was lucky. Now, this is hard to find and expensive as hell, but there's the magazine. Found one of those. And this is, not something you're going to find on eBay, by the way. This is a 22 Remington. a 222 Remington magazine.
Oh, wow.
That's on there. And this hunk of junk, everybody's used to seeing this kind of stuff, right? Okay. Well, that part right there is on the top. So got a couple of the really cool greeblies that go on
What
that
flash
blaster.
is that?
I have no bloody idea.
Huh.
It is a speed gun. Universal speed gun.
Weird.
Yep.
I like how some photographer taped some film or film ISO speeds or something behind the dish.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that cool? But yeah, I mean, it's stuff like this that I try to get out there, especially with these props. This thing might not be popular right off, but at least I've learned too many times that the props disappear. Once people find out what they are, or especially if you're trying to do it 20 years later.
For sure.
Try to find the stuff now. I was telling people about 4 or 5 years ago when I was doing E11Ds with the airsoft rifles, and all the stuff going along with that. Nobody's paying attention to a lot of that stuff, the chest harnesses for the Death Trooper and the stocks, and that stuff's gone. They didn't pay no attention to it.
Yeah. Is it still popular?
I think the Death Trooper is actually getting more popular. They're starting to put it in more and more stuff. It's a tough build. That's a tough.
I always thought the Shore Trooper was super cool.
Oh man, his blaster.
I don't know what that blaster is called, but
the
double
E22,
double barrel.
Double barrel. Yeah, it's an E22. I actually knew that. Everybody, I can't ever remember anything, but yeah. And see what's amazing about that E11 is that other barrel. That's what you cut off of the E11D for the Death Trooper. That's the drop. They took that barrel, they chopped off because the Death Trooper has that big long shroud. You don't see the barrel, so they chopped it off, and that ended up on that gun, which is really cool.
Which means you got to get two.
Well, if you do it right, I don't see anybody. I haven't seen anybody really do that. That's got some clamps and things on that E22. I think the only thing I've seen is 3D printed ones. Yeah. That'd be a tough one to do.
It's cool though.
Yeah.
I don't know why the double barrel stuff looks neat for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks space age. That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess tonight's the next episode of Obi-Wan. Comes out
after midnight.
Yeah.
I'll see it tomorrow.
See that. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I hope everybody else, you got to watch the stuff and take it for what it's worth, See a lot of haters out there. It's like, good Lord, man, if you can do it better, write it yourself. I'll read the book. It might turn into a movie. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's a critic. Just enjoy it. We could have nothing. There could be nothing coming out.
Nothing. Yeah.
But how you feel about the series? You're a little hesitant on it.
I want to like it a lot. Overall, I think seriously though, I think most of it's fine. There's just some little things you can nitpick anything, but when it takes me out of the story, and that's when I'm like, oh man, really? Like the first episode when the bad guys are chasing little Leia. I get it. They want her to be capable of running away, but these guys, there's a branch in my way, kind of thing. It was real Three Stooges kind of chase scene. And they should have just grabbed her and that would have been done. And you don't need 3 minutes of it happening. Just get it done.
Maybe some unnecessary stuff. I thought you brought this up too. It's like we was wearing the overcoat she's hiding underneath it and they're walking through the landing bay. That
took me right out of the story because I laughed out loud. I was like, what? How is nobody noticing this? They're on high alert.
Stormtroopers are stupid.
I mean, he's like the only dude with a beard.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? How has nobody noticed this?
It's stuff like that. There's a lot of that stuff I really honestly try to overlook because, there's people of different age groups enjoy stuff like that. But that was a little
for enjoying things at face value. But man, those couple things they're unnecessary. Yeah. Why put it in there in the first place? It doesn't.
I like some of the fight scenes he was doing when he kind of started using his lightsaber. I starting to feel right again.
I did really like when they had Vader come into the town and you were like, oh my God, he's just
no kidding,
killing people for no reason. That's pretty scary.
Well, I guess, when you go over the edge with what he's done, I guess life doesn't matter, but it is, he's absolutely brutal. It's kind of like the comic books.
Yeah. And it gave you a sense that he is bad. He's the bad guy. Because in the movies, he was a bad guy, but he was more of an administrative bad guy. He didn't really do much other than boss people around, right? But in this, you see him just go into a town. There's a kid, break his neck, whatever.
Yeah, instantly. I guess when you talk about the original series, by the time Vader's there, that's 20 something years after this.
Yeah,
and he's older, and Anakin's still, he's still kind of a young man when he's doing this part. So I guess he's out there in the thick of it. So.
And he's pissed. But by the time Luke's grown up, he's just kind of makes everybody else do this stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's a big galaxy, man,
Well, yeah, so I like that. I thought Vader was pretty intimidating, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully the next couple episodes that we see more of that kind of stuff and less shenanigans.
Yeah, that stuff was kind of hokey, but I try to watch things. It's like a lot of the other movies and things. I just watch them for what they are, just to be entertained. And if you really start trying to pick them apart, you'll always be disappointed just about anything. So
that's true. But I got really jaded from the sequel movies. They really. Well, that's another discussion for another time.
And everybody says that, but I mean, I enjoyed watching them. I'd watch them again. I liked the last one.
No, the first one, I was all about it. I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome. These characters are going to go someplace. I was like, yeah, okay, this is fun. It's cool. And then the second one just killed all my joy for it all.
I don't even remember the second one, but I like the last one. The final battle scene was really cool. Where everybody in the galaxy shows up. I thought that was really good. I think they kind of saved everything with that.
I may need to try and watch it again. I've only seen it one time in the theater.
Yeah, it was not a bad story. And there again, they're going back to doing Solo. God, if everybody would shut the hell up, we might have had a sequel to that one. But no, everybody had
Solo was enjoyable.
So bad.
Solo was enjoyable. I think they could have I don't know, recasting the guy probably was the hard decision. The only way I don't think they could have made it look convincing with the de-age stuff at the time it was made, but that would have been the best way to go.
Yeah.
Because then people would be okay with it. Even CG Luke and the Mandalorian stuff, people are okay with, even though it's kind of funky. It's not the best in the Mandalorian, the end of the Mandalorian. By the time you get to the book,
but you have to, but you got to accept and understand it, that's the option you have.
Yep, yeah, but the improvements made technologically wise, people are already accepted, but all they want to see is their character, right?
Yeah.
So when you put another face on it, it's a hard sell, I think. So if they
it'd be like trying to find another Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I think that they could have accepted it. People on the whole would have accepted the Solo movie more if it had had Harrison Ford's young face or something on top of that dude.
Man, that'd have been tough.
It would have been tough.
But I mean, as a whole, man, the story was good. I thought the story was good.
Yeah.
It explained a few things. I mean, I enjoyed it, especially for them. I don't think any of them have been so bad that they just got to absolutely hate them. But I'm on Facebook. It's like, I can't even watch that toxic stuff. Everybody's so,
And I thought Rogue One was great.
Rogue One's probably the best one they've ever done, except for the original trilogy, no doubt.
Yeah. And I think that show is going to be good. I bet that show is going to be cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Plus, I mean, they kind of redeemed themselves with Rogue One too. The props in it, I don't know the prop guy's name. I should, but man, he did such a good job. They're so creative, and damn them when they do some 3D printed thing that's terrible. At least with Mando, I mean, the props are good. They look great.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's props look good. I mean, I think they've learned their lesson not to you know, that people are actually following that stuff, to not put something out there that's, you know, looks like you bought it at, you know, Walmart or Target or something, you know.
Yeah.
Actually put some time in it, you know. People want to see that stuff.
It makes a difference. And it's funny because you can't discount that people have been obsessed with this for 40 years, 45 years, almost 50 years. They've been obsessed with it, right? So you can't just say your audience is too stupid to notice and that they won't realize it, because there's a good portion of it who will. They'll see it right away, and it'll take them right out of that fantasy, because they'll be like, oh, that's not right.
Well, you know, one of the first things I was looking at being a blaster builder, as soon as that DL44 out of Solo he pulled out, and I realized they did not just use a freaking airsoft knockoff of the DL44 to make this movie. I mean, are you freaking kidding me?
The company, the richest entertainment company on the planet, couldn't just do it right. You know, it's like, really?
They could have called somebody in the community, which those guys follow us on RPF. They're probably watching our videos. They see this stuff. And they could have found they could have built something, a real steel.
And the kicker is, a lot of us would have done it for free. Just to make sure it was correct.
Yeah. Oh, I'd donate E11s and everything if I got on camera. In fact, if they need a custom blaster or something, we'll invent something for them that'd be really cool. I'd do it for nothing. Absolutely. That'd be
just
so
to make
awesome.
Sure it's good. We would do it for, you know, for the sake of it, you know. Come on.
I know. That'd be awesome. Scott, I got to show one more thing that I didn't think about. So entertain people for 10 seconds here.
I've got toys. I've got stuff. Oh, this is cool.
Okay. Hopefully that wasn't too long there. I forgot all about this.
Have you ever seen the thermal detonator?
Nice.
Makes sounds.
Who did that? Who made that thing?
This one is KR Sabers, Cal. So it's machined. It's a machined brass. It's machined out of the brass on both sides. It's got a 3D printed steel, I think, and plastic chassis for the sound stuff. But Roman makes one too. I don't know. I haven't ever seen one of his in person, so I don't know what it's made out of. But all this is metal, except for the little tank track is 3D printed. But this is metal. Inside's metal. That's a
and there you go. There's their lesson. See, if you're a prop builder and you're making something cool and you don't send me and Scott one so we can talk about it, then hey, we can't talk about it. So you know, don't feel bad about sending us stuff where we can show off. You know, so
it's heavy. It's cool. It's cool. It's one of those props that I just leave on my desk all the time, and I just pick it up and fart around with it.
You know what? I hate myself. I just grabbed James. I grabbed the wrong box.
Back to entertaining. What else? What else do I got laying around that's kind of neat, other than the typical stuff you've seen? Oh, this is kind of fun. Master Replicas made 45 scale lightsabers and blasters, and this is the Obi-Wan A New Hope. Before the balance pipe was identified, they didn't really know what that looked like.
Man, I had to get this from the shipping thing.
Have you ever seen these?
Yeah, I hate you for owning those. You cannot find those.
Yeah, I used to have a whole bunch more, but I sold a lot of them.
Last time
I don't know why I shouldn't have, but
I'd love to do those. I'd love to make little
so cool
kits.
They're awesome. Incorrect. It's incorrect, but the one that is good is the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett one.
Ooh.
These T-Track are rubber too, because I guess they thought they were rubber. I don't know what the hell, but they got a lot of the details, like the glue residue marks. It's pretty cool. It's really cool.
I don't even see those pop up anywhere. You're not the only person I know that has those.
They're badass. Here's the Darth Maul one, the full Darth Maul one. And then there's the broken one, the cut one, where it's got a crystal exposed. And then I have the Graflex, the couple Graflex ones, and they even have springs on the red buttons like a real Graflex does. Wow. That blew my mind when I was playing with it. I was like, what? There's a spring?
Nice. Oh, I know this video is getting long, but one more thing before we get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
And James Patrick actually found, I guess he found 3 of those hammer drills from England.
It looked like a real pain in the butt to get those out.
God, James awesome, man. This guy has some of the coolest props. He finds incredible stuff, and he sucks so bad at tools. Yes, James, I said that out loud. But I was, when we were taking it apart, he was stopping screwdrivers trying to wedge. I said, "Stop! You're going to break these. Stop! Hold on." These things have, I don't know when these were made. These are pretty old drills, right? These are 50, 60 years old.
Yeah,
something like that. But it's like everything's seized up on them, or rusted shut. But between my hammer impact drill and getting the right screwdrivers and things, I was able to get it apart. It's just absolutely nasty. There's all these zillion years worth of this thick, horrible grease that you about can't wash off. I mean, other than that, we were really lucky. One of them had a strip center bolt in it that I was able to break loose. So that was pretty much the hardest one. And they've got so much dirt and gunk in them that when they were in the housing, they wouldn't come out. They're wedged shut because somebody had used these tools until they absolutely seized up, and they're done. So that's how you find them, I guess, nowadays. So
that's.
And I guess
I just find it amazing that has been a mystery for so long, and then all of a sudden, they find the motor housing and then discover the damn cone.
Yeah. And this is some type of mixing cone, which James already got. He's so cool, man. He's sharing this project with us, and got a lot of stuff which got to get from, I guess, Wanawanga. Got a lot of these pieces, if we can't find the originals. But
his kit is really good. It's really good.
But I'm looking forward to this, and I held off because I sent you a package the other day, that you've got a commission on, but this is going out today. I'm going to pack it really well so these don't get busted. But this will be really nice. I'll probably attach this to my door out here or something, once you get it done.
Yeah.
In case everybody doesn't know what this is for, we probably ought to tell them.
Oh, it's the bunker bomb.
Yeah. Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I
didn't even bring up any pictures of it, but that's where the basis of it is, and it's got a lot of other stuff that goes with it. There's a potentiometer, and there's some base plates, and there's one really cool thing in here.
I'll share a picture.
Somebody told me it was on Vader's helmet too. Oh, it's these. What do they call these? These solar amplifiers, or good Lord, there's like anything, there's about a zillion doggone parts to this thing. James has been collecting all this stuff, preparing for this.
Oh, these diode things?
The diodes, yeah.
Yeah, these.
I don't want to lose any of these pieces.
They come in, I'll show you what they come in. Hold up.
Yeah. Really neat.
They actually, this is how they come. Stacked inside of a vacuum tube sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy one of those right now just to have it. That's super cool. It is sometimes
they're just stacked on top of each other. I don't pretend to understand what it does or what it's used for, but that's what they are. But here's a picture. Here's a picture of the prop we're talking about.
There you go. You can see the bottom of the cone.
Yeah.
It's attached there. You know, you see those holes that are in that cone in the bottom. How do you do those? You just put them in the mill?
I've never done it before. I don't know. Because
I'm telling you, man, that's one of those things that if I could put that in the mill on center, you know, you could go down and, you know, go get the position right. But, you know, when you get to that point, let me know, because that don't look fun to do.
No, Chris Scott's done it at home at his house. So I
Christopher Scott.
Yeah, I've only done Roy's kit, and it's already done. So I never had to worry about that because we didn't know what the part was when I did it.
Yeah,
we didn't know what that cone was. So everybody was trying to figure out. They thought that they must have already had those holes in them.
You need to record all that pain and suffering, because that part that looks tough to do.
Yeah,
because even here, I think I can get more of those cones. I need to talk to James about that, because I think they're commonly used for mixing paint or doing something like that. But we may need to chuck that up somehow. Those are evenly spaced and they're drilled, you know, straight down into it. So
from the bottom, I think, because
that plat, you cut the bottom of it, you see the inside of it.
Because at least you have steps to drill to, flat planes to drill through, because you can't do it from the top. The bit would walk. Even if you do an end mill, that'd be sketchy.
Oh, I can tell you right now that whoever did it those ain't spaced with those steps. I don't think they are.
Oh, shit.
It doesn't look like it. But you would have to come down with a drill starter and you'd have to spot face it to have a place where the drill wouldn't glance off. I mean, I think that's
doable. Have to use an end mill.
Yeah, and it'd be carbide end mill, something high speed. This stuff seems pretty tough. So maybe, you know, because a lot of times you try to drill plastic and, you know, just kind of shatters on you. So I'm really looking forward to your suffering on this.
I have anxiety about it. Just look at it.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, this is something I'd try to put in the mill and try to figure out the center of it to try to do it. I mean, I guess whoever the prop guy that originally did that was.
I'm sure they just winged it. They was like, all right.
They look evenly spaced. I mean, whoever did it measured it really, really well. You know.
Yeah.
They did it by hand.
Let's show that again, because.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think people realize some of these things are really. You see, those things are definitely not in the same spacing with the ridges on the inside. They're just too close together.
Wait, I might have a picture of the bottom. I do. Let's see. Can you see that?
Oh shit, they are. Well, hey, that'll help. Look, that back piece is broke too.
Yeah.
No, they look like they are. Maybe he drilled it up like this.
Probably.
And you know what? These are if you look at those are not symmetrical.
No. They're close.
They're close, but no, they're not. They measured and just dead reckoned. Man, that really put it in perspective there. That's a great picture. Has that thing sold at auction yet?
I think Gus owns this. I don't know if he owns that one, but he owns 2 or 3 of them.
At $75,000 a piece.
I doubt it. I don't think that they were that expensive when he got them. But I don't know. I don't pretend to know. I'm not best friends with this. I don't know.
I think we need to start hanging out at the garbage dump when these movies are done or something.
We need a time machine. Just need a time machine.
If I have a time machine.
He's like, hey, George, you done with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need it. All right.
Hey, let me help you throw all this crap away. You've got a lot of clutter here. Yeah. So.
Don't worry about cleaning up. We'll take care of it.
Yep, no doubt. Oh, you know, one other thing. I've got access now to a 5-axis router table. And a buddy of mine just got that. And a vacuum form. He does a lot of vacuum forming for automotive. And I keep thinking of something I could vacuum form. Helmets.
5-axis router.
Armor.
What could you do with a 5-axis router that you can't do with a 5-axis mill?
Well, the gantry on this thing's about 10 feet. You can do something. about 6 foot tall, whatever, and really big. I mean, this table's probably 20 foot. I mean, you could do life-size statues. Cut it out.
Oh.
Which is bigger than mills. That's why they have those big gantries go up over the tables.
Would it be cheaper to machine these grips?
They could be
machined.
It'd be a lot of profile machining. It'd be expensive.
Yeah.
You'd probably have 2 or 3 hours at each part. I mean, it's doable. I mean, whoever does the mold's got to basically machine the reverse of that into it. But it's the thing is, once you get done with a $20,000 or $30,000 or $50,000 mold, you can pop out $5 parts.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, I think this video is getting real long for those watching.
We always say, hey, this is going to be a quick one. And it ain't. We got tons of stuff we're doing, and that's good. So,
yeah.
But everybody, keep your head up. I know the world right now is kind of gas prices and inflation and all that. And me and Scott were talking about this the other day. We do this to have some fun, to take our mind off the BS of the world, and kind of live in fairy tale land for a little while, have some fun with a hobby. That's why I'm always real kind of hard. I'm kind of hard on the toxic fans. Hell, if you don't like it, get out of it. If you enjoy it, hey, let us know what you think. Build stuff, follow it. Have some fun with it.
Yeah. And if you can't build, get someone who can. No big deal.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good commission builders out there. Scott does, Garrett. There's all kinds of guys out there who love doing that stuff all over the world, for that matter. And there again, as we're talking about these props, be on the lookout for them. I mean, Scott's luck's crap at finding found parts. He's doing a terrible job at it.
Yeah.
I find a lot of vintage stuff, but I haven't discovered nothing new. So
I haven't discovered anything either. I did this. What did I discover? What the hell was it? I can't remember what it was now. It must not have been that important. There was something. There was something. I was like, yes, I figured that out. But
I don't know if on the props of Star Wars, I'm going back to that site. There's a lot of good sites on Facebook too. If you're not following, like, there's the props of Star Wars anthology, and
I know what it was,
original series, and the blaster build group, and also the website on the Facebook. You go to the props of Star Wars with Travis runs, and there you go.
This is my discovery. These 2 pieces right there. At least as far as I know. I think this one might have been known-ish. It's this is the pre-production Boba Fett blaster. It's a bulb release for a camera bulb release. It's the attachment point that goes into the camera, into the Kaiser or whatever.
Are you watching, guys, at Props of Star Wars? We've got a found part.
No, I talked to them about it. And then this is a Presta Valve.
Gotcha.
This one isn't the exact correct one, because I can find pictures of the correct one, but I can't find the correct one. Every time I buy them, what I think is the correct one, they send me something different. They send me like a newer, updated version of it.
Yeah.
But this one's very close. But
I've noticed a lot of things. I think I saw Henry last night had sent me something. They'd found the capacitors on the Sand Trooper backpack lately. We're always looking for knobs and electronics, but you know what? They were scavenging the junk stores probably back then. Old amps, old radios. I mean, switches, all this stuff. You never know. I mean, that yard sale you pass up, there was some old radio in it, could have a knob or something on it from one of these things.
And these bike valves, nobody gave a crap about these things, and all the pictures of the old ones that are the correct one that I could match up to the photos. Even, you go to eBay, you go to whatever, they have a stock picture, or they have a picture of one and then they'll send you the newer version of it. It's just, it's sucky, but I still haven't been able to actually get the right one, but I'm pretty sure I'm the one who discovered that part.
Well, we'll go with
that. I could be wrong.
Right now. See, now you can feel better about yourself. You're not a total failure at that. So,
yes.
It
could be
awesome.
wrong.
but
somebody else could have
keep it fun. That, you know, that's kind of half the fun of what I'm doing too. Is I love finding the vintage stuff. You know, somebody points out, you know, the Webley Mark I, or, you know, finding this, and oh man, you know, you figure something they based one of them off of. That's a lot of fun in that, or finding an old camera.
I used to have fun with it when it wasn't like a fortune to get anything old.
Yeah, you know, but thing is, if you discover it, there's always some crazy son of a bitch who'll buy it if you find it. So, you know. You know, find the old M38s, M19s. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff to discover in the old movies and in the new movies.
Yeah, so, there is.
You know, be on the lookout for it. Okay, guys. You know, thanks for watching, and you know, keep having fun with it. You know,
for sure. Thanks for watching, and yeah, do let us know what you think about the Return of the Jedi gun, if it would be something people are actually interested in, or if it's just a niche blaster.
Yep. And also keeps, you know, get on our YouTubes and, you know, hit the like button, and, you know, follow us on Facebook, and
don't forget about the contest. Go back and find that contest video and do the things so you can win a blaster.
That's right. Okay, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.